All right, so Leroy walked out of the room during the segment. He got really mad at me. You know, we were talking, we got into some heated argument in the midst of the break because he was like, you think that every quarterback's going to get this? If Lamar Jackson wins the Super Bowl, he's not getting this, which is silly because, of course, if Lamar Jackson wins the Super Bowl and he has the same resume as Patrick Mahomes, he should get the Patrick Mahomes contract. And more, really, because he's up next.
Nope, nobody's going to get that contract.
How can that be said? All you got to do is win an MVP and a Super Bowl in the span of 3 years, really 2 years.
And you think here, how can I? If you had a choice, you had to spend $500 million on a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you spending it on?
Obviously, Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, and what is the biggest difference between Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson?
Well, the biggest
No. Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
The biggest
Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Robbie, hit the silly sauce. It's coming. I want a preemptive strike on the silly sauce.
You can't preemptive strike silly sauce. I didn't even make my point yet. This isn't Minority Report, Tom Cruise.
Guess what? It's coming, though.
All right. The biggest difference is throwing ability. Accuracy.
Hey, quarterback, that's a big difference.
But
wait.
Counterpoint.
No.
Counterpoint.
Let me finish that. Here. And here's the other thing. Okay? Can you give Lamar Jackson a 12-year or a 10-year deal as a running quarterback?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Name one that's lasted that long.
Running quarterback? Aaron Rodgers.
He's one of the best passers to ever play the game.
Very mobile. Dual threat.
Being mobile and oh my goodness. How long have you been doing this?
Russell Wilson, dual threat.
I mean, Vic played for a long time, but he had some, gap years where he wasn't playing.
Let me ask you this. How fair?
And he couldn't throw.
Okay, so hold on. If Lamar Jackson gets through these first 3 years healthy, all right, and he wins an MVP and wins the Super Bowl and wins the Super Bowl MVP, so he has to win the Super Bowl and the Super Bowl and Super Bowl MVP this year, which is possible. It's possible.
It is. Yep.
Okay, if they do that, he's not worthy of being in the Patrick Mahomes conversation. That's silly. That's silly sauce, Leroy. You're silly sauce.
Patrick Mahomes is unique. Okay?
So is Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson is unique, but longevity is not on his side if he continues to play the way he's playing. And I'm not saying, look, it's possible it could. But what I'm saying is basically looking at what has transpired in the NFL. I was about to say the history of football, but we all know where that's going. Based on what has transpired with any quarterback that plays football like Patrick Mahomes, it hasn't lasted that long. Look, we got a guy right now who's basically the guy. Huh? Look, in New England now.
Cam Newton,
right. Banged up, hurt, okay passer, nothing exceptional. Okay, when you say Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes, you were talking about elite passers.
Patrick Mahomes has been banged up a lot in his first couple of years, though.
He has been.
It's football, man. Like,
okay.
It's a roll of the dice. Isn't it a roll of the dice no matter what? Like, we're talking about a sport where people are coming and attacking these guys left and right.
How about RG3?
Yeah, RG3 was no bueno, but RG3 didn't win the Super Bowl and the MVP in his first 2 years. He did win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Okay. All right.
But to say that Lamar Jackson, if he goes to win the Super Bowl this year, we're not having the conversation that he gets to get himself a Patrick Mahomes contract, that's silly. You sound silly.
Even close.
Not even close. So would you give him any long-term deal, or you're just like, you're too scared?
No. I'm not. That wasn't the argument. The argument whether he should get Patrick Mahomes money.
He should.
I'll tell you what. Patrick Mahomes' contract is for $450. I'll take Patrick Mahomes minus 175 million.
So that's what, 225?
Yep.
From 450? Yeah,
Or I give you Lamar Jackson's contract plus
275.
and I might be able to go to 200.
No, and so it's just total money. Doesn't have to
Total
be,
money.
Doesn't matter the years.
Right.
Has anybody hit 200 before this, Robbie?
Yeah. Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck. Well, all right, he's gone. He's fugazi. Did Russell Wilson? Russell Wilson's the highest paid quarterback, so he didn't wait.
No.
So
He
you're
didn't hit
saying,
200 million.
So let me get this straight. You don't think that Lamar Jackson, and I have to have the caveat, putting in my back pocket that he wins the Super Bowl this year.
Yep.
You don't think that the Baltimore Ravens will pay him just under? You don't think they'll pay him $300 million?
No.
Wow, so off. You're so off. I'm gonna tell you right now. You know what the Dolphins can't wait to do? They can't wait to pay Tua Tagovailoa $400 million
They get to that
in 3
point,
years.
I'm sure they'll be.
That dude, let me tell you something. If Tua wins the MVP and a Super Bowl within his first 3 years, that guy's gonna be a god.
I got one better for you. Tua has a better chance to make 300 million based on how he plays.
Really?
Just his style of game, right? Because he's a better passer.
This is the
He's
first
gonna
positive
be a passer. He's
You've
gonna
never
be
said
a
it.
passer
You've never said anything that's positive about Tua.
because he hasn't played. There's nothing positive to say.
So let me get this straight. You, in your mind, Lamar Jackson, all right, Rookie of the Year, MVP. Was he Rookie of the Year? MVP last year. He had 36 touchdowns passing, another 7 rushing, rushed for 1,200 yards on top of what he threw for. You're telling me that there's no franchise that will pay him because they say that can't last.
Well, there's only one franchise that could pay him, and that's Baltimore.
Let me say, okay, what if he was a free agent?
Not even close.
Really?
Not even close to 450 million.
Wow. This is so silly.
And Russell Wilson, by the way, 4 years, 140 million with 107 million guaranteed.
There. So you're saying Lamar Jackson is going to triple that deal?
Yeah. He should. If this is the new way we're doing quarterback deals.
No. Again, that quarterback deal.
But his resume is also dealt in accolades and the winning that he did so early. If Lamar Jackson if he's already got the accolades and then he goes and wins this year, he should definitely get that deal.
No. Because he's not a passer. He's an athlete playing running back. And until he can show that he can throw, then we know we can lock him up for long term.
I mean,
because name another guy.
Threw 66% last year, completion percentage. There's no bum. You know, bum love.
How about win a few ball games?
Playoff ball games. We need to edit that.
All right,
I'll
what
tell
if you
you
play
what.
up again? But I'm putting in
Here.
Robbie in this conversation. I'm giving you the caveat that he wins it all this year.
How about this? I know a lot of people that, based on their ability to play quarterback, would take Aaron Rodgers over Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, like, you're taking success of a team and putting it on an individual, and
So
I
do they,
get
though.
why. I
So
know,
do they.
I get it. I understand that, but at the same time, you're talking about a guy who, for the most part, his success is based on his legs at this juncture in his career. You can't invest a boatload of money on that.
It may be based on his legs, but it's also the fact that he makes them win. Like, he's the biggest reason for them winning. You know, Joe Flacco's without a job right now. They decide Joe Flacco, who won a Super Bowl for them, hit the bricks. We want this guy.
I mean, he played. How long did he play with them? He was broke.
Who, Joe Flacco?
Yeah.
Yeah, he sucked.
He said, how many Super Bowls did he win?
Flacco won. Let's
One.
not get crazy.
Same amount as Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, more than Dan
Same
Marino.
amount- Huh?
More than Dan Marino.
Right. Hall of Famer. Come on, man.
You think-
You're crazy. You're
Nah.
like, all right.
Nah, I'm not crazy.
Okay.
I'm making the most sense. You know what you are?
It's moments like this, we need
know
a
what you-
professional on air.
You know what you are? You're a runnist.
The hell's that?
You're against runners.
So's the league. Sorry. People are really
Text.
upset that how my Lamar Jackson take, and it's not. I don't think it's that crazy.
Well,
Come
text
on,
right
Leroy,
saying-
you still on that BS? Lamar can't throw.
Well, first of all, you're talking to his hometown. Kind of.
No. Here. I have not said anything negative about Lamar Jackson, but everybody takes that.
Well, you were saying if you were a GM, you're
I'm saying
you
that
wouldn't invest in
he's
him.
not on the same level as Patrick Mahomes.
But
that's
not
all
fair.
I'm saying.
That's not fair.
Why not? Why
If
not?
he goes and wins the Super Bowl, he would have the samesies.
Dude, no.
There's more than one way to skin a cat.
Let me ask you a question. Who's more likely with football they can play and be successful at to play a 10-year contract?
I've given you. I would say it's Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, so if
But-
you're running a team, do you just go ahead and give Lamar Jackson a 10-year contract anyway?
First of all, you know what 10 years is for Lamar Jackson? He's 23 years old. It would make him 33 years old. That's not washed.
Again, can he play the style of football he's played the last 2 years for 10 years?
Maybe.
No, he can't. So if he plays the 10-year contract, the type of quarterback he's going to be is going to be different. I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm saying that if you look at all the quarterbacks that played similar football to Lamar Jackson, they never made it that far.
But hold on.
With the most recent being Cam Newton.
But you always say we don't give these guys enough time for development. Why can't Lamar Jackson get better at that? It's not
No.
because he already took a significant leap this year.
I did not say that he couldn't do it. This whole argument was based on, hey, if Lamar Jackson wins a Super Bowl next year, he should get the same contract as Patrick Mahomes. And I'm like, no, he shouldn't because of the way he plays quarterback. Now, could it change?
Right.
Yes, but you're not going to know before that contract.
Well, them's the breaks. Jared Goff.
let's be clear.
As you love to say, Jared Goff got paid. Like normally, the way it works is
Yeah,
whoever
but
the next
no.
quarterback up
Okay.
gets paid.
Okay, there's getting paid, and there's $450 million
Right,
getting
but
paid.
there's only so many.
All I said is that Patrick Mahomes is the anomaly. Nobody's going to make that amount of money at that position.
I agree, but the other thing, I don't agree to that because if there's only a couple guys in the league who could potentially go to that level to make that money. All right. One of them is Lamar Jackson, the other Deshaun Watson, and the third is Tua Tagovailoa. Those three guys have the opportunity to go make Patrick Mahomes money because you have to do everything
what?
they've done with the early start of their career.
Every time I try to have, like, first of all, your thought process is ridiculous anyway. But I listen.
Yeah.
You're my guy. I listen to you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
But then you always have to go silly sauce. So we're not. Tua hasn't played it down yet, and you're lumping him in with all the other guys.
Well, yeah. You have to do this within your first 3 years. Tua's within his first 3 years.
All right. Listen. The bet's still out there. I'll give you $200 million and Lamar Jackson. And I'll take the 450 Patrick Mahomes. Won't even be close. Won't even be close.
But Lamar has to win the Super Bowl for
even
this
be close.
this
Yeah,
theoretical
Lamar
bet.
has to win this. He has to win the Super Bowl for the bet to be engaged.
Okay.
Or Tua.
Okay. Wait, here. Why didn't Baltimore win the Super Bowl last year?
They pooped the bed.
No.
He was
a
a big reason. He pooped the bed.
Okay.
He pooped the bed. Second time.
Tennessee had a good game plan.
The closer you get to the Super Bowl, the more vulnerable you are.
Agreed.
With your weaknesses.
Agreed.
And so what I say to you is that forget what his average was during the year, right? Don't worry about that. What you have to look at is what is Lamar Jackson's passing percentage when he has to throw the football.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Because Patrick Mahomes, his first year starting, he ended up on the sidelines watching Tom Brady. He didn't lose the game. He went score for score with him. He just ended up he was time ran out. He didn't have the football in his hands.
Yep.
You're saying that's already a major difference in Lamar, who's pooped the bed twice in the playoffs. He's got no shot to be what Patrick Mahomes is.
And if it was anybody other than Lamar Jackson, the hometown guy, you'd be saying the same thing because I've heard you say it about guys before.
And Patrick Mahomes lost to Tom Brady because they lost the coin toss.
So we're for forever right now. Lamar Jackson is, how about win a few ball games? That's where he's at right now in the playoffs?
No. You would be the first one to say the nonsense. You got to win the big game.
Well, yeah, you do have to win the big game. You have to win the big game.
A big game. Not even the big game. A big game.
But if he does it this year, that's still not enough to convince you that he should get paid Patrick Mahomes money because he's a running-based quarterback.
There is nothing that I've seen. Let me hit the computer here.
Because he's a special kind of athlete.
Hold on.
Special.
There's nothing that I've seen. Oh, I can recollect.
You don't think
in the history of football that says a running quarterback who comes into the league running that doesn't adjust to how they play has long-term success.
Did Michael Vick ever? Wasn't Michael Vick at one point the highest paid quarterback?
Yep, he was the first $100 million guy, I think.
Okay, so this guy's not Michael Vick. What?
No, but again, here. When you go to Patrick Mahomes, he is a unique thing. He is the first thing you've seen that reminds you of like Aaron Rodgers with how he throws the football. Just pure passer, any kind of way.
I think
throw
even more
the
so.
Football.
Yeah, I think even more so.
Now, when I say Lamar Jackson, right? You think about the running quarterbacks.
Yes, I do.
You think about Michael Vick. You think about RG3. You think about Cam Newton. You think who've all had success. Not for RG3. I'm not going to put RG3 in the list.
I don't think you should put RG3 in that category.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to. I'm going to say Cam Newton and Michael Vick. Okay? But the one thing that has hurt them over the long haul, and with Cam, it's injuries. Because now he has to play quarterback from the pocket. He never really had to do that. So when you look at where you're going, right? And what you've seen with a guy that plays a position like Lamar Jackson, right? It says you can't give him a long-term deal. It doesn't mean you can't pay him. It just means that he's not going to get the type of money that you would give a quarterback.
But what is it? Is the case like you don't think that he's got the accuracy for it? Like that can't get better at all because he was 66% last year. Cam Newton's done that once in his career. He didn't do it until he was 29 years old. Vic's never hit that.
Here's what we do. Okay, we go back and look at the numbers when they fit. But when you got to crunch time, when it mattered, he was 52%, 2 years in a row. Mm-hmm. Now, how? Let me ask you this, because you're quick to say can't win the big one.
Yes.
How much longer does that go before you really start?
I'd say he's got 2 more years of that.
You're going to give him 2 more years?
Now, obviously not to get the Mahomes contract,
what?
but I'm saying, I'm telling you. Yeah. What? What? Oh, you're gonna do the Tannehill thing? Hey, do me a favor. Hey, Tannehill, make the playoffs before your 7th year. Then maybe I would be. Then maybe I'd be a little bit, more patient. If he's making the playoffs every year, yeah, I'd say you get 2 more years. What do you think? He gets 1?
Okay.
What? You're so disappointed in me all the time. I don't understand.
Because listen, it's hard to keep track.
It's not.
It is hard to keep track because you flip-flop. I'm trying to get the hook out your mouth, but you keep moving around.
Because you can't catch me. You try.
Keep changing, like a chameleon. Now you.
What am I? Hold on. Am I a
patient guy?
Hold
all
on.
Of a sudden.
Am I a bass or am I a chameleon? Make up your mind.
A big mouth chameleon.
Let's get the headlines.
This is WAXYAM South Miami and WSFS-FM HD2 Miramar, a radio.com sports station.
Which is brought to you
Question. Quick
Let
question.
let them pay the bills first.
Fine. Pay the
Headlines
bills.
are brought. Leroy's questions brought to you by the Orion Fuels and Downstairs Convenience Stores. Truly steps beyond convenient. Go ahead, Leroy.
Would Patrick Mahomes have gotten this contract if he did win a Super Bowl?
No.
Yes.
Not yet.
He would.
No.
He would.
No.
No. All right.
I don't even think I don't even think his agent would have let him sign the contract.
All right.
I think he's like,
Because
let's wait.
I think they were talking about the contract he was going to get before last year.
They were, but then he ran it up even more. He did.
He was going to be the highest quarterback by a long shot, regardless of whether he won a Super Bowl or not last year.
I don't know. Hard to say. I can't deal with fantasy, can I?
What? You can't. You have Tua in the contract. You have Tua in the highest contract ever talks.
You're right.
You
know
can't
what?
deal with what?
Let's do a poll. Who's the most likely to get the Patrick Mahomes contract? Let me most likely to get the Patrick Mahomes contract next. Let's go Lamar Jackson. All right, we go Deshaun Watson or Tua Tagovailoa.
Really?
Or throw Burrow in there.
Nah,
You might as well throw Minshew in there.
All right, I'll throw Minshew in there.
Somebody says I'm on the silly sauce. He won
are.
MVP last year. You can't give him 2 more years? I can. I've always been patient with players.
Nah, it doesn't
You're
sound
the
like
one
it.
that
You're calling him a bum.
not call him a bum. See, that's where you go with that. Can't have realistic conversations around here.
No, I feel like I'm the one who was having the most real. Hold on, the NFL tablet, the blueprint has always been whoever gets paid next gets paid most.
And
Now
I said to you,
it's a little bit odd
Patrick
in this
Mahomes
case.
is an anomaly. Anomaly.
Excuse me.
Anomaly.
Excuse me.
6 anomalies is not an anomaly.
I don't know if there's. I don't know if there's a.
At least I stop. Probably just plow through.
Six anomalies is not an anomaly.
Probably trying to fix it. Robbie tried to fix it on the fly. He's like, I said, hey, man, look, sometimes you got to take a deep breath, regroup, go at it again. You can't just power through. Robbie just powered through.
That works.
Hey, I'm not.
That word has dominated us.
I'm not saying that Lamar Jackson isn't good. I'm not saying that he's not one of the best young talents in the league. I'm not saying any of that. Okay? We started this conversation at 6 o'clock in the morning saying these words. Patrick Mahomes is an anomaly. That's not going to happen all the time.
But you're telling me that Lamar Jackson, he can't pull up on Anomaly Avenue and say, hey, got my Super Bowl championship and my MVP. And he's like, hey, can we park the Brinks truck right over here on Anomaly Avenue, please. Beep.
It could change, okay? But he would have to become a lot better passer. That's all I said.
In the playoffs.
And,
in the playoffs.
You said that. I don't even do that. There's so many things that could go wrong in a playoff game. I don't just chalk up, can't win the big one. To that. That's not my thing.
But we're saying in this case but time's a ticking. If you want to get a Mahomes deal, you got to win within the next 2 years. Really, you should.
Well, yeah, because the contract could be up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It has to be before the contract comes up.
It's a 5-year deal, so yeah, he's got to win within the next 2 years. It's up to him, I guess. Maybe he wants. Maybe they give him a huge deal that's not the Mahomes deal next, and
look,
he wants to sign it.
If you're standing around waiting for another quarterback to get the Mahomes deal, stop.
You just think no shot? No shot?
No shot, man. That's my whole point of this was try to explain to you how unique
Tua's going to be so rich. Tua's going to be so rich.
Dude, think about this. Let's be clear. There's only been one quarterback to get a $200 million deal, and that was Andrew Luck. We blew right over the 200 and 300 million.
All right, but that's the thing that I find funny about it, though, yesterday is like everybody's making a big deal of this Patrick Mahomes contract, and I feel like it's the most normal thing ever. Like the guy who is the best should get paid like that. He should get paid the most. Like you should treat him like an NBA player. He should get this crazy, crazy money. He deserves that. And it's kind of like, look, should Devin Booker be have a more guaranteed contract than LeBron's ever had in his career?
Basketball's different.
I know,
it's slotted. Basketball's slotted.
Yeah, this is slotted though. This is quarterback.
No, it's not.
Quarterback's different.
No, it's not. Because you can word the contract differently.
If it is, because going to your guy Jared Goff before the Mahomes contract, it was because Jared Goff got the richest contract in quarterback history at one point.
Yeah, but it was all around the same amount. Okay, this jump has been so big that you can't. There's nobody else in the league that can make the jump in salary that Mahomes just made for quarterbacks. Nobody else.
I think that Lamar Jackson's contract is gonna blow Russell Wilson out of the water.
If he gets to $200 million,
you
still lose. You still lose.
I have to get to 275.
You have to get to 250 for a push.
For a push?
Yes.
Man.
Right. That's my point. That's the only point I made. Was like, hey guys, put this contract aside. When you're gonna go start comparing quarterback contracts again, talk about all the Patrick Mahomes is not an equation for considering quarterback contracts. He's so far out there. You're gonna talk about Jared Goff. You're gonna talk about Carson Wentz. You're gonna talk about Russell Wilson. Right? That's the quarterbacks you're going to talk about.
You can vote now on our poll, by the way. Most likely to get the Patrick Mahomes contract next. Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, Tua Tagovailoa, or Gardner Minshew.
I hate your Twitter.
It's at Brendan_.
Why?
I think Gardner Minshew is going to win this poll.
Yeah. Because it's like, it's like when they click, something sticks them in their hand on their phone, and it injects chili sauce.
He's not winning right now.
Who's winning? Gardner Minshew?
No, Lamar Jackson's winning right now because he's going to get the biggest contract.
Man, we pick and choose how we want to do this.
It's going to be tough because here's the thing: when we get to the AFC Championship and it's Dolphins versus Ravens, it's going to be tough because what am I going to root for? Am I going to root to be right against you, or am I going to root for my guy Tua? It's like I got two things going that I could be right for. I could either be my guy Tua being right, or I could be right with Lamar Jackson.
Here, verbal jiu-jitsu here. And I quote, Robbie, here's the question. Most likely to get the Patrick Mahomes contract next. That means that you're not competing against Patrick Mahomes, just the other guys on this list.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But I'm saying nobody's going to get that contract.
Okay, so don't vote.
So our argument was whether somebody is or isn't going to get it, and
no,
then you say,
no.
Yes.
So you want me to do another poll? Will anybody ever get the Patrick Mahomes deal? That's no fun.
Or put out, the bet. Will Lamar Jackson be within $200 million of Patrick Mahomes if he wins a Super Bowl?
I think the poll's just fine the way it is. Most likely
of course
to get the
it
Patrick
is.
Mahomes deal.
Because tomorrow you're going to come in and talk about, I told you, Lamar Jackson.
No. Here's what's funny about it. I went and did the poll with you on the air, and I even took your advice and I added Gardner Minshew, which you told me to do, and still you say the poll is silly sauce and you don't accept it just because you like
it. I accept it, but there's a difference between most likely to get. That means you're competing with the other guys on the list. When you say who will get the contract, that means now you're comparing them to Patrick Mahomes. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, who's going to get the Patrick Mahomes? Who's most likely to get it next?
Who's most likely to get it means that of the other guys on the list.
Is there anybody who else is eligible?
No, I'm saying nobody's going to get it. That was my whole argument.
Well, that's no fun. So who's most likely on the list?
Who?
On the
Nobody.
List? Nobody. Wow. I think Gardner Minshew has a thing or two to say about a thing or two.
Of those three, who's going to make the most money?
Tua.
No.
Tua.
I would say I'd be more inclined to say Deshaun Watson, not because of anything other than where he is right now. Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson's going to get paid first, I think. I don't know I don't think Dallas likes Dak. I don't. I think they're up in the air. They haven't made up their mind yet. So what if they got to give him $30 million? That's fine. I've never seen a quarterback get to this point, and the only quarterback I've seen get to this point was Kirk Cousins. So, yeah.
Show guts. Pick one of those guys.
Huh?
Show guts. Pick one of those guys.
My whole argument. I'm not gonna sit here and let you tie me down to one. When my whole argument has been nobody's going to get it?
Put one of your boring polls up. Ooh, will anybody get the
No
Patrick
one
Mahomes
should have
deal?
been
Yes
an
or
option
no?
for the poll. That's right.
No.
Here, bro, Tua's on the list. It better be followed with silly sauce. This is silly sauce.
Do you think that people who listen to our show?
Here.
Let me ask you something. Do you think that in our show there's a Leroy section and a Tobin section, and your section they just have dry toast, and in our section we're having delicious toast with silly sauce on it?
Yeah, cinnamon toast silly sauce. Yeah. Yep, there we go. Yep.
We got coming up later this hour. That's a win. That's a loss. Speaking of which,
Tua would never get that deal. He speaks too well. He needs to sound like a Muppet Baby, quick, fast, and in a hurry.